We add 4 egg yolks.
I know how to do it. It's always Sally who does everything. You split the shell in 2 so that the egg white falls into the bowl. Then you pour the yolk from one half of the eggshell into the other.
My, you learn quickly. Bob, you add a teaspoon of salt. Sally, 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Finally, we add...
The 4 egg whites.
No, we'll put the egg white in the fridge to use in another recipe. We're going to add a bit of nutmeg.
My fingers smell good. Ugh.
We're going to mix the flour with the eggs using a wooden spoon. Very good. Now we're going to knead the dough.
What do you mean we're going to knead it?
The word is spelt K-N-E-A-D. It's pronounced just like the other knead, but in this case it means we press the dough to form a ball. Now we have a nice ball of dough. We sprinkle flour on the work table, we put the ball of dough on top and sprinkle with flour. And then, come here. I'm going to tell you my secret for making good pasta. With the palm of your hand, press down on the dough bit by bit. That gives it more consistency when it cooks. Then you do it again.
Can I try? And me too.
All right, but sprinkle some more flour on the table first. And on the ball of dough. Bob, you begin. Well done. Now it's your turn, Sally. Then form the ball again. Now we're going to wrap the ball before we put it in the fridge.
Wouldn't it be better to use a clean tea towel?
You're right, Sally. That would be more environmentally friendly. Now, in the fridge for 2 hours.
That's what I call a recreation period.
I'd suggest you rinse off your faces first. And your hands too. We cut the ball into 4 pieces. Take 1 piece each. Sprinkle flour on the table. Now put your piece of dough on top and sprinkle it with flour. With the rolling pin, roll out the dough until it's as thin as possible.
This is hard work.
It's fine. Uh-huh. Well done, Bob. Now you're going to cut out a large rectangle with the pizza cutter. Roll up the rectangle, cut the roll into slices a ½ centimetre thick, then unroll the slices. You're going to do the same thing with the other pieces.
Look, Sally, it really is pasta.
And now fill up a saucepan with water. 3/4 full. We put it on the cooker to heat.
Are we going to eat all this pasta today?
Half only. You're going to put it into a clean tea towel. We'll leave the rest for tomorrow. Now I need 2 chairs. Put the chairs back to back, leaving a space between them. Now, find me a broomstick.
I know where there's one. Giddy up, giddy up.
Here's another secret. We put the pasta over the broomstick to let it dry all day.
It looks like the curtain in front of our fort. Michelle, the water is boiling.
We add a tablespoon of coarse sea salt and a spoonful of olive oil.
Here you are.
Now bring me the pasta. We toss it into the water and separate the pasta with a fork so that it doesn't stick together. It takes about 8 to 10 minutes to cook, depending on how firm you like it. That gives us just the time we need to go over my secret.
Your secrets, you mean? Oh, I remember. You have to knead the dough thoroughly so it will cook properly. And the second secret? I can't remember. Bob, we just did it. We just did it? Oh, yes, the broom. I mean, you have to hang the pasta over the broom handle to dry.
Bravo!
Michelle, hurry. We don't want it to overcook.
We'll serve the pasta al dente. First, we have to drain it in a colander. We pour it very quickly into a bowl. We add 2 tablespoons of butter, Mix it very quickly. It's ready.
You know that packet of pasta, Bob? Well, I'm giving it to you as a gift. No thanks. I prefer Michelle's fresh pasta.
Let me put down the chicken at least.
You're going to be very happy with your assistance. We've got everything ready.
Congratulations!
All we have left to do is wash our hands. Great! I love roast chicken. All brown and crisp. Yummy! We're not making roast chicken. We're making chicken in a crust of salt.
You're both right, actually. We're going to roast it, but inside a shell of salt to concentrate all its flavour.
This chicken certainly was well fed.
Yes, and with grain. It's important that the chicken is of excellent quality. If the chicken was raised on fish feed, when it cooks inside the crust, it'll smell fishy.
Yuck! I have the list of ingredients. This is for 4 people, or 6, especially if there are children. I can eat enough chicken for 2 people. Well, we need a chicken weighing about 1 kilo 800 grams, 750 grams of flour, and also a little extra flour in a bowl, 450 grams of coarse sea salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of oil, of your choice, 3 tablespoons of dried herbs from Provence, and 300 millilitres of cold water.
In your opinion, where do we begin?
By switching on the oven?
Turn the thermostat to 9 or 270 degrees.
It's going to be pretty hot in there. The chicken won't burn, will it?
No, the crust will protect it.
We don't put oil on the chicken, so what do we need it for?
To prepare the dough...
This crust seems important.
Yes, indeed. All the ingredients that we put in give the chicken a wonderful fragrance while it's cooking.
Then let's use olive oil. It'll be good with the dried herbs, don't you think?
Absolutely. We also need a tablespoon to oil the baking tray.
How much flour did you say we needed?
750 grams. We do the same thing for the sea salt. We need 450 grams.
I get to weigh it. And there we are. If we don't use sea salt, does that mean the recipe won't work? No, it's just better with sea salt because it smells so good.
Sally is becoming an expert on gastronomy.
She's more like a real gourmet. Yes, but only for good meals.
Shall we make the dough? Now add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Good.
This is starting to get weird. Why can't we just roast the chicken all by itself, without anything?
That's the secret of the recipe. The sugar will bring out the aromas, the nice fragrance of the chicken with the dried herbs.
I love it. So we need 3 tablespoons, do we?
Mix everything together with the wooden spoon and add 2 tablespoons of
olive oil.
While you're mixing, slowly pour in the 300 millilitres of cold water. Then finish kneading the dough with your hands. It should form a nice elastic ball.
Here, it is. Nice and elastic.
We separate the dough into 2 balls. One should be bigger than the other.
How much bigger?
2/5 and 3/5.
Huh?
Perfect. Now sprinkle a thin layer of flour onto the table.
Yeah? Yeah. Michelle said on the table, not on the whole kitchen.
Put the little ball on the table, sprinkle it with flour, and roll it out flat with the rolling pin. There are 2 of you and 2 balls of dough.
Yes, and it would be faster if we worked at the same time, but there's only 1 rolling pin. I have an idea. How far should I roll it?
There should be 5 centimeters of extra dough all around the chicken. Congratulations, Sally. That's the second secret of this recipe. If you haven't got a rolling pin, you can use an empty glass bottle instead.
Bob, now roll your dough around the rolling pin. Unroll it onto the baking tray.
Are you sure there are no holes in the dough?
No. Oh! Well, yes there is. Just a little one.
Then close it up. You don't want the fragrance to get out.
Should I put it on the chicken?
Yes. You unroll the dough very quickly onto the chicken. It has to cover the sides and touch the dough underneath the chicken. Perfect. Now, with your fingers, pinch the dough on the bottom together with the dough on the top to make a big hem.
Is that important? It must be important if there can't even be a little hole.
Put the tray in the lower part of the oven, 3/4 of the way down, and let it cook for 1 hour and 10 minutes.
And now the boys will tidy up. Especially Bob, who has made a proper mess, while I summarise the secrets. To make delicious chicken baked in a crust of salt, there's another secret in addition to selecting a very good chicken. Put a little sugar in the dough to bring out the flavour of the chicken. And to avoid quarrelling with your little brother, there's a third secret. Use a bottle instead of a rolling pin if someone else is using it. Is it burnt?
It's just the edge of the crust that's a little burnt. That can happen after 3/4 of an hour of cooking, but it won't affect the final result.
It's hard. Are we going to need a chainsaw to eat it?
We can break the crust with a hammer.
Oh yes, I want to do that.
But,
We'll get salt everywhere.
and above all, we might damage the crisp skin. Another technique is to cut along the big hem and take off the top like a bell.
Can we please have a taste? If you take off little pieces on the side, it won't show. It tastes as good as it smells. Try and catch it. Not here. You promised me. Aw, you're no fun. Only because you're cleaning up. Hi, Michelle. It's also beautiful. It looks like a garden. Oh, you've left some mud. Are these large beans?
They're peas.
No, they're not. Small peas are round, like marbles.
I don't believe it. Haven't you ever seen fresh peas?
Well, no. And what do we do with those little fresh peas?
We're going to prepare them in a French style. For 4 people, we need 2 kilos of fresh peas, 24 small fresh onions, 8 nice fresh carrots, 1 lettuce, 100 grams of soft butter, 1 small spoon of caster sugar, 1 small spoon of salt, and 1 large spoon of water.
Well, do we need to wash the vegetables?
No.
Be careful, because today she wants to clean up everything.
Hold your horses. I've already washed.
Will we unshell them? Tell us how to do it.
If it's nice and ripe, a slight pressure on the slit is enough for it to open. Pierce it with your fingernail. Then with 1 finger, slide the small peas into the bowl.
There are quite a few. Oh, and a tiny one too.
We don't want that one. It isn't ripe. Taste it. You'll see for yourself that it's a little tasteless and maybe even bitter.
It can be eaten raw?
Well, yes. But for that, you must pod them first.
Bob, there's more than just the peas. There are the carrots too. First of all, the stems need to be cut off, 2 centimetres in length.
I've finished. Will I help Bob?
Yes, my small pea queen.
Considering her age, Princess is better.
The Small Pea Princess, the famous fairy tale.
By Anderson. I read it when I was little.
I don't know it. Strange, a princess who pods peas.
Wait, Sally! Hold the carrot the right way, by the top with the tip touching the table, and you peel from top to bottom. Well done. Turn it as you continue to peel.
Good. It's fast and safe against cuts.
Well then, the princess?
Yes. Once upon a time, there was a prince who wanted to marry a real princess. One stormy night, a soaking wet young woman came for shelter at his castle. She said she was a real princess, and the prince liked her very much, but while I'm telling you this story, Bob, can you remove the tips of the onions? Leave a centimetre. Shall I help you?
No, continue the story. I can do this.
Bravo! Very clever. The queen, the prince's mother, was very distrustful. She went to prepare a bed and placed a small pea under many mattresses. The following morning, the princess was very tired. Something in the bed had stopped her from sleeping. The queen admitted that only a real princess could be so sensitive and that she was royal enough to marry her son.
Tell me, Michelle, do you believe it's true?
What?
Nothing.
There you go.
Already? Well then, help Bob. Take the onion ends off and the first skin. After that, you put them in the bowl. I'll slice the carrots.
I'd like to do that.
Not this time. It needs to be done with a large knife.
That's too dangerous for children.
We slice them into 4 lengthwise, keeping a little stem on each quarter length. And whoops, into the bowl.
We're waiting for you.
Only 2 left. Pour the vegetables into the saucepan. Add a small spoon of caster sugar. It'll enhance the aroma of the peas. And a small spoon of salt. Now gently mix together with your hands.
It's soft.
Now add 100 grams of soft butter. And mix.
With my hands?
Yes, mix it all together with your hands.
Great!
It isn't to amuse you kids. It's the recipe secret. Slowly mix with your hands to make sure that every pea is covered in butter. This way they'll become tender and not hard like marbles.
You're putting butter everywhere.
Sorry, I forgot.
Come on, let's go and wash. Ah, this too. Let's give these a wash.
Change the water if there's earth in it, okay? We drip dry the leaves, but leave them all damp.
This way we won't get water everywhere. She's done all the cleaning. What a surprise for Mummy.
Ah, that's good. It's a nice present. Don't worry, Sally. I'll help you to tidy it all away. Place 5 lettuce leaves on top of each other, then roll them up just like a large cigar. Slice them into fine pieces of about 1 centimetre.
Is it for decoration?
No, it's to cook with the peas. Mix them together. Each piece must be soaked in butter. Add a spoon of water and put on the lid. There you go. Now we put it on to cook.
Is it going to take long?
30 minutes. The first 10 minutes on a medium ring.
I'll start to put everything away.
I'm on my way. Now, we lower the heat and leave it for another 20 minutes on low heat.
Delicious.
They're almost like tinned peas.
Oh, yes. And because of the secret of soaking the peas in butter, they're just so tender.
Oh, you've forgotten some peas in the corner.
You shouldn't have said. I wanted to put them in Sally's bed, just to see if the story was true.
It won't work. I'm not a real princess. Only Michelle's one.
Oh, I see, madam. You know it all.
Hello, everybody. Ah.
Oh, Michelle, you've come just at the right time. Isn't it true that gnocchi is a kind of pasta?
No, they're made with potatoes. Our teacher said so.
Well, well, well. You're full of energy today. Actually, you're both right. Gnocchi is an Italian word for dumpling that means little bread. They can be made out of dough.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Know-it-all.
Or out of mashed potatoes.
Huh?
What did I tell you?
Or from semolina, which is the way I prefer them.
Well, I was half right.
Or half wrong.
Well, I heard somewhere that eating gnocchi puts you in a good mood. What do you say? Shall we try my recipe?
Yes!
Then let's get started. To make gnocchi for 6 people, we need 125 grams of butter, 1 litre of low-fat milk, 300 grams of semolina, 6 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, grated cheese, a grating of nutmeg, and some pepper if you wish.
Where do we start? Should I warm the milk?
Not right away. First, we take a heaped tablespoon of butter.
Like this?
Yes, we put it into the large baking dish over there. Bob, how would you like to cut the rest of the butter into thin slices?
Here you are.
We put them into a large saucepan. Now, Sally, you pour in 1 litre of low-fat milk. Perfect. Bob, you add a teaspoon of salt. And finally, the grating of nutmeg.
I want to grate it.
Go ahead, then. Fine. Now we add a little pinch of pepper. And then we heat up all the ingredients. I put it on medium heat and wait for it to come to a boil.
It's making bubbles. Should I pour in the semolina?
Yes, you pour in 300 grams in a steady stream while Bob stirs.
I can't do it. I'm too little.
Yes, you're right. I'll fix this. Now I'm going to reduce the heat. And we let it cook while we keep stirring, until the dough no longer sticks to the sides of the saucepan. That's That's my secret.
The secret, the secret, the secret, the secret, the secret.
The more we dry out the dough in the warm saucepan, the more thoroughly we can incorporate the eggs later on, and the tastier your gnocchi will be.
How long do we have to wait?
About 5 minutes. That'll give you just enough time to get the eggs from the table and bring them over to me. Intact, please. I turn the heat down again as low as possible. Now we have to break the eggs one by one and mix them into the batter with the spoon. We incorporate each one thoroughly before adding the next one. And that makes 6. All right now. Sally, would you get the grated cheese, please?
How much should I put in?
130 grams or 2/3 of the packet. It's looking quite good. Now I'm going to pour this dough onto a baking tray, and you two gently spread it out to a thickness of 5 millimeters. Now it's up to you.
It's done!
You're great chefs, both of you. Now we have to let the dough cool off for a good half hour.